Failed Reviews. Today we're going over the exclusive unboxing of the brand new Canik TP9 Elite SC. This is the highly anticipated Canik Subcompact version of their super hot pistol line. The Caniks were introduced to the US market a little over a year ago now, and this subcompact gun is their first gun that is a gun with a barrel under 4 inches. So I was super excited to get this. I picked it up yesterday at my local dealer. I was able to go to my local indoor range and throw a bunch of lead down range, over 100 rounds, had really no hiccups whatsoever. I've tested it out with some magazines from my TP9 SFX that I shoot and carry optics. And then I was actually also able to shoot it last night in my monthly Friday night pistol match that focuses on concealed carry. So that was really great to be able to utilize the included concealed carry holster that comes with it and do a bunch of reloads and just using the gun while moving and under the direction of this the certain operations for these stages that we're shooting. So today we're going to go over a lot of the details on this Canik TP9 Elite SC. You can see I've got it set up here. We're going to be talking about things like holsters and magazines. We're going to be doing some direct comparison to it or with it to the Taurus PT111, which has been my current concealed carry weapon for the past 6 years at least. So we're going to go over the unboxing of it, a more formal video of the unboxing of this Canik TP9 Elite SC. We're going to show you guys what it comes with, what it doesn't come with. We're going to talk about red dots. We're going to talk about holsters. We're going to talk about magazines. I'm going to be comparing it and showing you guys how it looks to this full-size Canik TP9 SFX. So let's get to it now on Nailed or Failed Reviews. On my video yesterday, you saw the majority of what this thing comes with, but you know, just to be official and have a nice full video on the unboxing, I'm just going to redo it now. The nice thing about Caniks with a lot of their pistols is that they come with a holster, they come with different little accessories or additions, I guess you could say. The TP9 Elite SC does not disappoint with some of the stuff that it comes with. I will note that because of the cases that they use, you can actually see that there's probably going to be another version of this gun coming out very soon that just like when they released the full-size TP9 SFX, that this actually came with its own red dot, it came with a bunch of plates, it came with a holster, a cleaning stick, I mean a bunch of stuff. From the cutouts that they have inside this case right here, you can see that there's a spot for another magazine, there's a spot for a red dot, a battery. That indicates to me that they are going to release another version of this gun. What do you get? You get a holster. Now, when I posted this video yesterday that I did in the truck at my local range that I belong to, I mentioned that this looks like a Kydex holster. The guys over at Smoky Mountain Concealment, they wrote a comment on the video that is not Kydex, so this must just be some type of a thermoplastic, just cheapest thing they could make. This is 2 pieces, so you can see here it's made of 2 pieces that they just screw together. It's got these fairly cheap looking clips on it, but I will tell you that it wasn't too uncomfortable. I actually wore this for about half the day yesterday. After I picked it up, you know, I took it to the range, did that video. After that, I had to go to the supermarket, I had to run a couple errands, and so I said, you know, hey, I got it on me, let's set it up. So I set up the clips. So again, like I mentioned in the video yesterday, this thing is able to do inside the waistband or outside the waistband. So when they sent it in the box, it was actually set up for right hand outside the waistband. All you have to do is unscrew the clips and flip them around, and then it serves as an inside the waistband holster. It is actually curved. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it does have a little bit of a curve to it to sort of mold to your body. I will also mention that It does. I usually carry at the like the 4 o'clock position, so that seemed to be where this holster is also best suited, as far as just the way that the shape fit my belt and up against my body. So it seemed like it definitely was made for a 4 o'clock holster position. But it's really great that this Canik came with one. Like I said, a lot of their models come with holsters that sort of seem cheap and whatnot, but hey, they are functional and you can use them. What else does this thing come with? So it comes with a case, obviously, like you see. Oh look, I didn't even see that. It looks like it has this cover that is actually covering up the manual, a cleaning stick. We also have a brush. So it looks like 20 bucks, 25 bucks off an NRA membership, registration card. We're gonna go over this later on because in the video yesterday I showed you guys, I was trying to take it apart. It looks like it comes apart and goes apart just like any other gun, like the other Caniks, but because of the subcompact nature of it, the short nature of it, it requires sort of a special disassembly and reassembly. Basically the positioning that you have to put the slide in is not the same like you would do with other guns. So we're gonna go over that. What else does it come with? It comes with 2 magazines. So we have 2 different magazines here. We have a 15 round magazine and then we have a 12 round magazine. It has a pinky style, little thing to grab your pinky, 12 rounder, Metgar, pretty nice. Always good magazines. And then we have the 15 rounder, and this has an extended base pad on it, and I really like this. You can see the difference between these two here. And I had, like I said, I shot this in a match last night. We had mandatory reloads, so I had to do, I don't know, like 5 or 6 reloads with this thing over 2 small stages last night at an indoor range, and had no hiccups, no nothing. So mags work good. I don't know where you can pick up new ones as far as these little short 15 rounders or these short 12 rounders. I did not see them at my dealer. I haven't seen anything online about it. I'll get into this later, but so far the magazines from my full-size TP9 SFX have run really well. I haven't had too many issues. I have had some double feeds and some other just sort of random issues, but that might have just been because this has a super strong spring in it. It just, I don't know, wasn't liking it. But again, I ran that 21 round full-size mag in it last night during the Friday night match and did not have any issues. It comes with a base plate, comes with a standard flat base plate. So that's really nice so that you can change out the pinky 12 rounder or the 15 rounder to a just a regular flat base plate. It also comes with a additional fatter back strap. So this gun also has 2 back straps. It has a skinny one installed on it, and then it has this fatter one that you can install if you got fat hands, I guess. And then it comes with 1 micro red dot mount. This is plastic. There is no markings on it or anything to tell you what the heck it is or what size it fits or anything like that. But, and we'll get into this later when we talk about red dots for this thing, but basically this is just some type of plastic spacer that to some notches they have machined into the body, into the slide of the gun. You'll put this on and then you'll put your red dot on top of that. So that is all the gun comes with. Okay guys, here we are at the bench and I've got all the guns laid out, the Taurus that I'm going to be comparing this to, and I also have my full-size TP9 SFX out here that I wanted to show you guys just again for comparison. And you can see it looks like the baby brother of this thing. Talk about the different dimensions and also the weight of this, just to give people a complete overview of this thing, because there have been the Canik forums, the Canik Facebook groups are very active, and people have been talking about, oh, I don't like the width of it, it looks too fat, I don't like the weight of it, it sounds too heavy for a gun that size, and on and on and on. So let's talk about these different things. Canik, this has a 3.6 inch barrel. The Taurus has a 3.2 inch barrel, so it's a little bit smaller. The width on the Canik TP9 Elite SC is measured and is published at 1.45. The width on the Taurus PT111, the G2, and there's a G3 model coming out. These are measured at 1 inch, or about 1.1, depending on who you ask, depending on what you read. And then this full size is also at about 1 inch, I believe. So we'll measure that to see. So you're talking about, at least in published numbers, almost a ½ inch difference in width. And you know, you can see that here when you talk about how fat the magazine well looks. Definitely when you put the two guns together, you can see things like, for instance, the trigger guard looks much fatter on the Canik. The just overall body of it looks much fatter. That was the first thing that I noticed when they took it out of the showcase at the gun store, and I was like, oh damn, I don't know if I want that because of the width. Let's see where they're measuring it. So I was messing around with this off camera, and what they're measuring for the 1.46 is they're measuring on the outside to outside of the slide stop release. So the Canik TP9 Elite SC has a ambidextrous slide stop. So you have a one on each side of the gun. We're actually measuring on the outside distance of that. And when you put on calipers on it, it is 1.45. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Just take my word for it. It's 1.45. But if you measure the grip measures in at 1.14. Of course, like I said, is measuring in at 1 inch, and it shows that on the calipers 1.1. If you actually measure the outside, it's 1.19, so 1.2. So when you're talking about the widths of these things, really it is sort of not adding up, because what you're talking about is these slide stops. Now, you know, I guess when you know, technically these are going to be covered up by your holster. You can see that they are covered up, and so the holster is, you know, is molded to accommodate that protrusion on both sides. But it seems so minor that I would like to tell people you should really put it out of your head that this thing is too fat compared to something like a PT111. Because when you actually do compare the grip widths, which I think, I'm not sure if people go by grip widths more or not, but this is 1.14, so you could actually say the grips are almost the same. I mean, 1.114. So take it for what it's worth. The full size model, this has some grip tape on it, but this is 1.18 in width for a full size model. If we measure over the slide stop on the full size, it's 1.3, so it is a little bit skinnier than the Elite SC because it only has a slide stop on one side on the full size, and this Elite SC. So that's what is making this thing seem fat on paper, published numbers, is because they're measuring the distance from outside to outside of the slide stop. So I'll let you guys digest that and do what you will, but I really wanted to point that out because I don't think it's a hindrance as far as some of the comments that people were making online. I will say that, you know, definitely for anybody that's held a G2, these things, I love the way that these G2s feel in my hand. They do have, their mags have the pinky sort of area on it, but these things fit my hand freaking perfect. I always love this G2. I've shot, like I said earlier, tens of thousands of rounds through it. Through a USPSA, but I really loved how these were so skinny and still felt super solid in your hand. So when you talk about the Canik, you know, depending on what magazine you use, you're going to have sort of a difference of opinion there. You know, depending on the size of your hand, the way that it fits, you know, whether or not you're using the extended base pad on that, whether or not you're using the pinky base pad on it. I will say that, as I mentioned in the first video I'd put out yesterday, I was talking about how, you know, you could feel the fat of your hand going into this back area when using these two different mags that they come with. But what it looks like is that these are actually, this spot here is made for the flush base plate. So you can see that it's actually cut out just a little bit, and that the base plate is meant to fit on there just like like that. So that's pretty flush. You still sort of have this beveled edge back here, but know that if you want to do that, I guess the 12 rounder with the flat base pad that they include with the gun will fit on there just like that, and you can get a nice flat. When we talk about the weights, I just want to touch on that real quick. I got my scale here. What the published weight on this gun on the Canik is 24.78. I did a little weighting beforehand, and that's with the magazine. So 24.78 ounces unloaded with a magazine. My scale is reading 25 ounces, so you know, give or take 0.2 ounces. So that's pretty much in line with their published numbers. As far as the Taurus goes with the magazine, that weighs 21.3. So you're talking around 3 ounces difference in weights between the two unloaded guns. So definitely a difference there. I would say that's definitely got to be in the slide. This slide seems pretty heavy. It would have been nice if they put some cuts on it, if they, you know, put some ports on it like they did on the full-size version here. But you know, it is what it is, and that's the weights of them. So we're talking 25 ounces, 24.78 on the Canik. The Taurus PT111 is coming in unloaded at 21.4, we'll say. Okay, and just for people's knowledge, a full size, let's see, full size with a regular mag is 30. So you got 30.7 ounces on a full size with an optic and an extended. This is a stock 2+ extended. If I was to put a Cane Arms, what is that, 4+, still 30.7 because he's doing these in 3D. So 30 ounces, almost 31 ounces for a full size. So you've got what, about, again, 5 ounces difference. This thing weighs 5 ounces heavier than this subcompact. So for some people that might be too heavy, I don't know. If you can feel a couple ounces over the day, you know, once you put a magazine in, I've got a magazine over here, you know, this is that's another 9 ounces right there. So you're talking, this is going to be up to at least 30 ounces loaded up. So again, if that's an issue for you, then there's some information for you. All right, so that's the sizing and the weights of them. Now I wanted to go over some of the holster options that you guys have, because holsters can be really hard to come by when you're talking about a new gun. So let's check it out now. Okay, so one of the toughest things when getting a new gun is who the heck makes a holster for it. If it's not a Glock, if it's not an XD or something like that, it's very hard to find holsters. And when we talk about finding holsters locally, it's even harder. It's a real pain in the ass. There's really nothing you can do about it, because sometimes the holster manufacturers don't get these guns until after consumers get them. So, you know, that's just the nature of the beast in the gun market. And sometimes they do get them beforehand, and they're able to make holsters, and you can find them, but a lot of times you can't. So that's my dilemma right now. What I found, what I wanted to see is, number one, would this Canik Elite SC fit in my holster for my full-size TP9 SFX. This is a comp tack holster, and this is what I use for USPSA. Super sturdy. You can see I put some wing screws on here for just completely loosening it up. Looking at the guns, you know, when I first got it, I was like, oh man, that looks so close to the TP9 SFX that it's got to fit in there. So let's see. Look at that. It does fit, and although it doesn't, you know, obviously take up all of the space in here, the great thing about it is that the trigger guard the trigger is completely covered. The slide stops are completely covered, as well as the magazine release is completely covered. So that's pretty sweet. So you can see on a full-size gun that it goes all the way down and fits in there. I mean, it looks almost exactly the same. You can see how it covers up the magazine release really well, and the slide stops. the trigger guard, everything. So it looks like it's, you know, a ComTac one if you happen to have one and you want to shoot in your local match and you don't have a holster, you can use this one. So I'll tighten up my screw here, and you can feel it. It does grab onto the catch on these holsters that they catch on the trigger guard, and you just, so yeah, so it holds it pretty dang good. So yeah, I'm gonna be shooting a USPSA match tomorrow, local match. I'll be shooting this in production, and you can see there, no problem. So that's really great. So if you guys have any of the other Canik models, definitely check your holster to see if it fits in there well and covers all those areas, and always do a shake test to make sure that it won't fall out, because if your gun falls out, you're gonna get DQ'd. So, ComTac it fits into. And a lot of people who have the Caniks, the full size, they got this guy. And guess what? Fits in there. Check that out. Almost perfect. It actually fits better than that ComTac one. Doesn't cover up the magazine release on either side. So you can see there, magazine release is still exposed. But trigger guard and trigger are completely covered. You're able to get a full purchase on the gun, and comes out just fine. So, you know, because I only have a couple magazines, I'm gonna have to run some full-size mags in this tomorrow for production, even though I'll be only running 10 rounds. And, you know, you can see, not too bad, not too shabby. So, if you guys are looking for a holster because you wanna shoot a match right away this weekend, if you got this thing, then pull out that, hopefully you didn't throw it away, pull that thing out, and you'll be able to use that if you want to. That will work if anybody needs that. So it's pretty cool. That's holsters. I don't have any other holsters for you guys to try. Just wanted to show you that if you are trying to shoot a USPSA match or some type of match that requires an outside the waistband holster, that you could technically use this by putting it in the outside the waistband position, but for USPSA matches, you know, you're supposed to have your gun outside the holster and in a certain position above your belt and all that stuff. So anyways, that will work if you guys want to do that. Now I want to talk a little bit about the magazines, and like you saw, if you're looking for magazines, you know, what can you use in the meantime before you can actually buy some of these. Okay, so magazines for the Canik TP9 Elite SC. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it comes with these one 12 rounder and one 15 rounder. And you know, if you're going to shoot a match right away like I do, these aren't enough. You need at least 4 more. What I have is a bunch of full-size magazines from my TP9 SFX. Now, these are 18 rounders with the +2 base pads. This thing looks so similar to a full-size TP9 SFX that it has to fit. The magazine has to fit in there. So it fits, okay? Like I said, I ran this yesterday. Don't quote me on it. Don't say, oh, you're full of shit, or you wrong, you're gonna screw up your gun, whatever. You know, you're gonna have to, if you have some of these mags laying around, you're gonna have to decide for your own if you wanna try them, especially in a competition if you're being scored and you're keeping track of that score. I had some double feeds yesterday. I was using my 18 rounders that I have Cane Arms extended base pads on. So this can hold 21. And I loaded them up all the way with blue bullets. I use blue bullets right now with their 135 with 3.2 grains of tight wad. It's a super fast powder. I've had really good luck with it, creating some really good hand loads for my competition shooting. So I was shooting that all day out of this thing yesterday, and I shot it in my match last night. Had no hiccups last night. At the range, I did have a few double feeds, and I'm thinking that it basically had to do with the recoil spring, because this recoil spring does seem very strong. And again, just because it's a brand new gun, it's going to be pretty stiff, but there was the whole controversy with these TP9 SFX that they wouldn't cycle properly, and they were also double feeding or not locking back on the last shot. A lot of people were so upset about them not locking back on the last shot. Well, I did experience that with these full-size mags in this gun. Again, there's just something that is a little bit different between these mags, between the stock mags that come with it and the full-size TP9. Now, they say on these full-size ones, the TP series, the TP series is what it's called. But all these right here that I have actually say TP series. Actually, it does. It says it on here. So I was hoping that that everything would cycle the same, but again, I did have a few hiccups when I first took it to the indoor range and I was using my full-size extended mags. So again, when I picked this up, my dealer didn't have any extra of these short 15 rounders or any of the extra 12 rounders. So hopefully these will be coming out soon. The last thing I wanted to touch on was the red dot. So this Canik does not come with a red dot like some of the other models do, although it is cut for one. So that's the really cool thing about it, is that they actually made this gun have a cut for a red dot that can be co-witnessed. That means that the red dot will sit down far enough that you can actually look through it and use your sights at the same time if you want to. Now, from what it looks like here is that they actually have, even though this is a dovetail pressed on rear sight, is that they actually have a little Allen head inside of here to remove this sight. Now, I haven't messed with it yet, but from the looks of it, it looks like you can actually remove the rear sight if you want to. So that's kind of nice, I guess, if you're maybe get one that has a rear sight on it, one of those red dots that has a sight on it. Unfortunately, the micro red dot is needed for this. I'm going to take this plate off of here and show you guys why these other ones don't fit. If you're doing this, take the screws out, and then this thing is super hard to get off because you don't want to pry on it with a screwdriver. You can actually take your Torx wrench and sort of stick it in there a little bit, and you just have to pry on the body of the mount itself, and then it'll pop out just like that. So let me get up close and show you guys how this full-size ones won't fit. Okay, so I've got that mount off of there. So I was really hoping that at least one of these other ones would fit, but like I want to show you guys here, there's just no way. You can see that essentially what's happened is because some people want a loaded chamber indicator, which I think are completely useless because number one, they get super dirty and get gunky and can get jammed up. Number two, this one isn't even marked with any red paint to actually say or give you a visual indicator that when it's up that there is a loaded round in it, or that there's a round in it. And it looks like because they accommodated that, you can't fit a full-size optic in there. So you can see here, doesn't want to fit as far as front to back. That's a Viper. Here's a Burris Fastfire 3, same thing. It looks like width-wise the Burris would fit right in there and look pretty nice. But again, the length, if they wouldn't put this loaded indicator in there, all of us would probably be able to figure out some adapter plate at some point to utilize regular full-size red dots. Right now, the word on the street is that the brand Shield that has been making red dots forever will fit it. I think the Romeo, not too certain. Like I said, there hasn't been any official word from Canik. Just understand that this does take the new micro red dot mounts. A full-size red dot will not fit on here. So definitely be aware of that. I'll show you guys this back sight here, what I was talking about. I'm just going to take the camera off. You can see there how the rear sight has that little screw hole or a little Allen head in it, and I believe that's removable. You can see it's got like a little key that's holding it in, that little oval part in there. So you have your screw and then a little insert that captures the whole sight itself, and then that's all screwed down. So pretty cool if you're interested in removing it. You can see there's a shot of the blacked out rear sights, and then the front sight is painted, what do you call it, glow in the dark. So it's painted glow in the dark. It's not actually a true night sight. There is no capsule in there. And they actually have this really detailed visual card with instructions that they give you guys to tell you how to disassemble it. So let me adjust the camera here, and I'm going to show you guys how to take apart this Canik and put it back together. So first thing, it's same deal. You've got the two tabs here that allow you to disassemble the gun. So you have your two tabs, and they say, you know, pull that down, push it forward. They actually don't tell you in the instructions to pull the trigger, but I believe you still need to. So you sort of got to do this awkward two-handed operation where you pull the slide back, push those tabs down, and then get this thing to go forward, okay? Now it's forward, it won't go anymore, okay? There. So you kind of got to finagle it to get it off of there. Just put it on like this. This is what will happen. You can see that it just, the internal smacks into the back of the slide, and you can't actually, you know, tilt it to get up there. What you have to do is basically line up this front cutout right here with the front, and you sort of like set it on top just like that. You don't actually put these back together by sliding it all the way from front to back. You have to piece it together over the front tab, and then if you can see this, the back tab is right here. So now I've covered up the part that was blocking it before, and then you can push the slide back all the way. So now it's on there. So again, I'll do that again. So pull your tabs down, pull back. You got to pull the trigger, make sure your gun's empty. That'll let you go forward, and then you basically lift it off, okay? And then again, reassembly, you want to line up the cutout here, set it on there so that you can see the back tab, and it'll go on, just sets on there like that, okay? Set it on, push it back, it's on. That's it. So definitely be aware that the assembly, disassembly, and reassembly of this is a little bit different from the other guns because of its compact size. Super stoked that I was able to pick one up. Hopefully this review helps you guys understand, you know, what you're gonna have to pick up as far as accessories, like the red dot, like the holsters, extra magazines, things like that. Hope you guys liked the review. If you do like it, please like if you like, and subscribe, and check out the other videos. Stay tuned to nailedorfailedreviews.com and Nailed or Failed Reviews YouTube channel, and all across social media, Nailed or Failed Reviews. Like if you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.